Hey, I'm Jay. Today I'm in this beautiful river. Got an ultralight rod doing multi-species fishing, and I'm just wrapping up now. I can tell you that I caught 8 species, really good number of fish as well on this beautiful day. Let's get after it. Little baby rock bass. We have a green sunfish. All right, so let's talk about why I'm fishing in this particular spot. We've got this current coming through here, and we have kind of an eddy back towards me here. Current like this is basically a conveyor belt that's bringing food and forage to fish. Fish are always looking for food. Something else they're looking for in this type of weather, which is hot, sunny weather, they're looking for shade. With a big river like this, I'm looking for multiple elements, right? So maybe not just a little eddy, but an eddy with shade. And we've got some structure in here too. We've got tree roots and some wood down in the water. So when those things kind of come together, the idea is that it should be, the hope is that it's a high percentage area. And so far, 2 fish, 2 species. So that's turning out to be the case. Five or 6 minutes here, we've got our 3rd species. And at first glance, this looks like a bluegill, but you can see some of that light color there on the gill, and it's got a bigger mouth than a bluegill and some of this iridescence up here. So I'm gonna actually guess that this is a green gill, a hybrid bluegill green sunfish. That's our 3rd species. Just made a couple stops here along these islands. Now I got about a half a mile I want to go north here. It's gonna hopefully take me to a bend in the river. It looks like there's some really nice structure. It's a place I've been trying to get for like a year, but every time I come to fish here, I end up catching fish before I get there, and I run out of time. So I am trying to move a little bit more quickly this time. I think it's another one of those hybrids, a green gill. A lot of them in here. Now this, on the other hand, is a green sunfish. You can see up here the structure that I'm looking for. There's a bend in the river. Got some current. We're gonna have some interesting stuff, and I tend to think this is gonna be our spot where we could get into some smallmouth. But let's see, I've never laid eyes on it other than looking at it on Google Earth. Well, hey, what did we say? We got a smallie. Maybe 10 inches or so. back home, buddy. If we can get another one. He was kind of right where that foam is over there. There's another smallmouth, about 7 inches or so. We spit it. Gosh darn it. Nice move, bro. Probably should have had my drag a little tighter. It's an ultralight rod, but I've got 6-pound braid on here, so I'm not really worried about breaking off on these guys. Third smallie, and he is a smallie. Grow bigger, buddy. See you in a couple years. Now, addressing our status on multi-species, if I recall correctly, and half the time I don't. We got a rock bass, a green sunfish, green gills, and the smallmouth. So I think we're at 4 species. If we're likely to catch anything else, probably looking at bluegill. They are in here too. All right, we got another one. 7 inches or so. These smallmouth are kind of lower down in the water column, so I'm letting it sink a little bit. Rod tip down. Kind of a slow retrieve because the current itself is given the blade on there on this beetle spin plenty of action. They seem to be kind of along that bank over there and underneath this wood in the water, and I think they're coming out and grabbing it. And as always, the challenge is to cast close to that stuff to kind of coax them out, but not so close that you're going to get snagged. Green gill. So the lesson here, I think, is how valuable Google Maps, Google Earth, any type of satellite image can be for fishing, because this river along this part right here is just very straight, and this is the abnormality. It's this big S curve here. And I mean, the reason that is important to know is that with the S curves you get deeper holes, right? That's why these fish are here, is because we've got depth along here. Now, not only that, but we've got you know, this faster water coming through, which is aerating, so we've got good oxygenation in here, and again, like I've mentioned before, it's bringing food and forage down for these fish. So, you know, it's just ideal. You got all this structure over here, and I never would have known this was here. You know, I'm a half a mile from the access here, and probably close to a mile north of here. So this is way out. You're not going to just happen along this really, unless you're, you know, not many people kayak this river or anything, because there's lots of obstructions. But yeah, I mean, finding it on the satellite imaging, you know, I just thought, hey, that might be a place where we find some smallmouth, and we have. Now we're fishing with the ultralight small lure, so you know, not a surprise that we're catching small. smallmouth. But we'll come back with the bass rod sometime and see if we can put some bigger boys on the board. Green gill. There's a hawk up there, but I just heard an eagle as well. That's the hawk. Look at that guy, nice rock bass. See you, bud. He was right by this stump. Just kind of casted there, let it drop. Slow reel. Now that, well, I think that's another one of those, I think that's another green gill, another hybrid. Oh my God. Oh, now that is a monster rock bass. Rock bass do not get very big. This is probably the biggest I've ever caught. That is a beautiful rock bass. All right, buddy. It looks like this might be a creek chub. I think it's a creek chub. Well, that's our 5th species. I'll confirm that back at the house. All right, we're heading back. Of course, we gotta walk half a mile through the river, so we're gonna do some casting as we go, but I gotta go home and grill some hamburgers for my family, so can't go too slow, huh? If they don't have those hamburgers, they'll starve to death. Now, whenever I'm kind of doing the walk back fishing like this, I engage in what I call indiscriminate casting. Coming upstream, I've already casted into all the places where I thought there was a good likelihood of there being fish. So when I walk back, I'm not going to fish any place super long, but I am going to take some casts, you know, in places that maybe I wouldn't have coming upstream. Indiscriminate casting pays off, and we catch our 6th species, little largemouth bass. All right, there we go, little 6-inch largemouth. Okay, rock bass, green gill, green sunfish, smallmouth, largemouth, creek chub. So we're at six species. Another little hybrid. Another little baby smallmouth. He's biting me. But basically I do this just to force myself to keep moving. Nice smallie. 8-9 inches. Hey. That's a pumpkin seed. Beautiful pumpkin seed. Down back. And by the way, that's species number 7. Now that is a bluegill. If I'm not mistaken, that's our first bluegill. Yep. Bluegill. Largemouth, smallmouth, rock bass, bluegill, green gill, green sunfish, pumpkinseed, creek chub. 8. Boom. 8 species on the ultralight. That rocks my socks. Green gill. Had a great time. 8 species. We will see you next time.